If something doesn't look right, then there is something wrong. And if you suspect child abuse, then you must report it to the Child Care and Protection Agency. During this time more than ever, we have to be the eyes and ears of abused children across the country. So if you see it, or you know it, or even if you just think it's child abuse, then you must report it to the police or call the CPA hotline on 227-0979.
A message from the Child Care and Protection Agency, Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, and UNICEF.
Kaieteur Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Good day. Welcome to your news at noon on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. The use of a UK broker by an ExxonMobil-led consortium to provide a $600 million per occurrence insurance policy for Guyana's Stabroek Block appears to be in clear violation of the country's local content law. The landmark legislation, which was passed in 2021, categorically states that 100% of the insurance business for the oil industry must go to Guyanese. Bringing this matter into the spotlight for debate and due consideration by regulators were Melissa De Santos, President of the Insurance Association of Guyana, and Peter Abdul, President of the Guyana Insurance Brokers Association. According to recent court documents, ExxonMobil's affiliate, Esso, utilized the services of a UK broker to prepare the $600 million policy. We understand that the policy is backed by 3 internationally recognized insurers, each of which subscribed to a proportion of the risk based on their risk appetite. The names of the insurers are Ancon Insurance Company, Jamestown Insurance Company Limited, and ICM Assurance Limited. In their missive to the press, De Santos and Abdul underscored that the 2016 Insurance Act, strictly prohibiting the direct placement of insurances to foreign non-admitted carriers unless by engagement through a local fronting insurer or through a local insurance broker, is in possession of a special broker's license. Meanwhile, Attorney General Anil Nandlal and Esso have been added as respondents in a matter filed in the High Court by 2 citizens challenging the legality of the permit issued by the EPA for the gas-to-energy project. The permit in question was issued by EPA to Esso for the pipeline aspect of the gas-to-energy project. It was approved by the agency, which is the first named respondent, on November 25, 2022. The application challenging the legality of the permit was filed by 2 citizens, Vander Radzik and Elizabeth Hughes, on March 27th, through their lawyers Melinda Janke, Abiola Wong Innes, and Joel Ross. In its application to join the proceedings, the state noted that it would be adversely affected by a judgment quashing the permit, since several contracts for the project have already been awarded, to which the government is a party. And in other news, Guyana's Petroleum Act of 1986 has finally been updated, and a draft completed by the PPP government will be released next Monday for public consultations. Vice President Jaglio made the disclosure on Thursday. Along with this critical piece of legislation to govern Guyana's oil sector, the new model production sharing agreements for both the deep and shallow water blocks are also in the final stages. With regards to the contracts to govern future oil production areas in Guyana, the Vice President explained that the comments received by the administration have already been added to the drafts. The model agreements were released on March 14th, triggering a 2-week public consultation and review period. In other news, police on Wednesday morning detained a Northwest District man at Charity, Pomeroon River, who was allegedly taking his 13-year-old stepdaughter to undergo an abortion at a Bottom House clinic on the Essequibo coast. Reports are that the man shares a relationship with the child's mother. He resides with the victim and her siblings at a village within the Muruka sub-region. Recently, villagers found out that the teen was pregnant and that the man was planning to have her undergo an abortion. A police source related that since the victim was 8 years old, the man was accused of molesting her while the family resided at a remote area within the region. The man subsequently left the area with his family after the allegations became public. And moving on, Joshua Paris called Stewie, the suspect accused of killing a GDF officer while hijacking his car, has reportedly told police that he was forced to abandon the stolen vehicle after the buyers refused to take it. Paris alleged that the buyers, who had contracted him, wanted nothing to do with the soldier's car after learning that he was dead. Police arrested Paris on Tuesday at Sophia after identifying him as one of the suspects involved in the killing of Lieutenant Royden Anthony Douglas and stealing his car. The suspect claimed that the job was to steal a car for a buyer willing to pay them $700,000. As police hunt the other suspects, Paris was on Thursday arraigned at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on a charge of murder and was remanded to prison. You're listening to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. This is the news at noon. We'll return shortly after the break.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Diana, join me on the Glenn Lal Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast at 11 a.m. The Glenn Lal Show only on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM.
Welcome back. Within the first half of 2023, the Guyana Police Force Trafficking in Persons Unit has interviewed 244 alleged victims of human trafficking, 23 of whom are under the age of 18. TIP refers to a crime whereby traffickers exploit and profit at the expense of adults or children by compelling them to perform labor or engage in commercial sex. According to information from the Ministry of Home Affairs, the TIP unit investigated 21 reported cases for the first half of the year. It was stated too that 5 persons were officially charged and placed before the court between January and May of 2023 for offences ranging from trafficking in persons, assault, forgery of currency notes, and the operation of a brothel. In other news, following reports that examinations papers were reportedly stolen from a school in Jamaica, the Caribbean Examinations Council on Thursday reported that they would continue to administer the examinations as scheduled. In a statement on Thursday, CXC said that it has advised all stakeholders that following consultations with ministries of education from across the regional examinations will be written as scheduled on the timetable. The statement continued, CXC reassures candidates that their best interests continue to be the center of the organization's decisions and processes and wishes all candidates well in their examinations. As the police continue their investigations in Jamaica, CXC and ministry officials from across the region will continue to monitor the security of the regional examinations. We had reported that on Wednesday, CXC confirmed that they have been informed that fireproof cabinets containing the exams sheets for 9 subjects scheduled to be administered this week were stolen from a school in Jamaica. And the Ministry of Health's National Blood Transfusion Service has achieved 10,000 voluntary blood donors to date. This was revealed by advisor to the Minister of Health, Dr. Leslie Ramsamy, on Wednesday during the World Blood Donor Day at Banks DIH. He stated that based on samples of 1,000 persons, the blood donation rate in the country has increased to 16, which is the average of high to middle income countries. Due to the increase, a sufficient amount of blood is now always available for persons in need, especially those with chronic diseases. However, as the ministry expands to its drive to implement life-saving products and undergo life-saving procedures, more blood is needed. And at this time, we close things off for your news at noon on Kaieteur Radio by turning the pages of today's Kaieteur newspaper to page 7, dedicated to being blunt. The government and the opposition continue to squabble over who won and who lost the local government elections held on Monday. Guyanese are the ones who lost and continue to lose in this badly run country. The unchecked corruption by the government and the incompetence of the opposition are losses to the Guyanese people every day. Few Guyanese care about the results of the elections. What they want is for this motley bunch parading as leaders to resign and block and free this nation from their nastiness and their corruption. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's Newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
It's Friday. It's June 16th. Welcome to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. I'm GHK Lal on the National Outlook. A week ago, I had to go into Kaieteur News, so I had to go across town. It was raining. It was raining. When I tell you it was raining, it was raining. You all know. You don't have to live in Georgetown alone. But Georgetown became a lake, ankle high, mid, calf, sometimes knee high. You're driving, you don't know where you're going. Is there a pothole there that's going to break your car up? Is the water so deep that you're going to stall there? So sections of Georgetown are swamped, large sections. I felt it was almost the entire town, the entire capital city. NDIA, National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, monitoring drainage structures. Is that the best we can do? Monitor drainage structures? Something is not draining here, my fellow Guyanese. Something is not draining and going anywhere. Because we're talking about drainage and pumps and cokers and personnel and billions spent, and we are in the same place, if not worse. We're in the same place, if not worse, after all the money spent. Yes, we're below sea level. Yes, Georgetown is a bucket, so water gathers and stays there. But it doesn't have to be. We are the richest country in the world and the fastest growing economy anywhere. So people are going to come here. People are going to come here from the outside. And this is not some remote village somewhere out of sight. This is our capital city, the national capital. And this is our presentation to the world that comes here. Where is the president? Where's the vice president? Where's this opposition leader? Where's the minister of local government? I really don't want to know the answers to that. But why I've raised their names, somebody somewhere has to have some level of pride, some instinct towards shame. If I'm a minister, I'm a leader, I'd be most unhappy, and I'm going to stand on a table in a cabinet meeting and raise my voice and say, this has got to stop. If we have any self-respect left, if we have any idea of what standards in class are, we're going to do something. We're not going to get rid of the floods. We're going to do something so that we can have a mechanism in place. We can have an arrangement in place. Through the Dutch, I think, they're the best, where we are not flooded so easily and the waters stick around so long. And with all the other embarrassments and inconveniences is a mild word, that visit us. We are an old country. We're a rich country. Our GDP is 3 times, 10 times more. Not 3 times, 10 times more. Others. Anywhere else in the world. And we can't fix our city to a point where we can walk. And yes, there's some water rising. It does in Manhattan. It did in Jamaica and in Long Island. But a lot of rain had to fall and a lot of snow had to pile up. So we're going to have some floods, but not for so in a few short hours, not every time, and not learning anything at any time. So where are those names I call? I ask you. I'm GHK Lal on the Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 and 99.5 FM. You are listening to the National Outlook, and do have a good weekend ahead. Safe, healthy, and sensible. Goodbye.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.